Have you ever been with someone who was actually good to you and still felt anxious? Still felt like something was about to go wrong? Still felt like you needed to brace yourself, even when there was no real reason to? And maybe you told yourself, I just need to trust them more, or I just need to give it more time, or even, what is wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. But something important is happening, and if you have never understood what it is, it can quietly sabotage every relationship you are in. That's what this video is about. A lot of people understand what emotional safety is. They get it intellectually, but they still can't seem to feel safe even when the relationship is actually good. And that is a completely different problem. So today we are going to talk about why some people struggle to feel safe even in healthy relationships, where that pattern actually comes from and what it actually takes to change it. This one might get a little personal, but I think it's one of the most important things to understand if you want to stop repeating the same relationship patterns. Here's the truth that most people don't hear enough. Your nervous system learned what a relationship feels like long before you ever went for a first date. Think about that for a second. The way you experience love, closeness, conflict, and connection, all of that was being shaped in childhood. Not because your parents were perfect or imperfect, but because your earliest relationships taught your nervous system what to expect from people. If the people who were supposed to love you were consistent, warm, and responsive, your nervous system learned people are safe, I can relax, I can trust. But if people who were supposed to love you were unpredictable, emotionally unavailable, critical, or inconsistent, your nervous system learned something very different. It learned stay alert, don't get too comfortable because the other shoe is always about to drop. And here's the critical part, that learning doesn't just disappear when you grow up. It follows you into every relationship you have as an adult. So, what does it actually look like in a real relationship? It looks like being with someone kind and loving and waiting for them to change. It looks like things are going well for a few weeks and thinking, this is too good. Something is about to happen. It looks like your partner being in a quiet mood and immediately assuring it's about you. It looks like someone saying, I love you, and part of you not quite believing it. It looks like testing the relationship, pushing to see if they will leave. It looks like pulling away right when things start to feel close. It looks like starting arguments from nowhere, almost unconsciously. It looks like feeling suffocated by someone who is actually just being present. It looks like feeling strangely empty when someone consistently shows up because something feels missing without the anxiety. And the painful irony is this: the more emotionally healthy someone is, the more unfamiliar and even uncomfortable they can feel to someone who hasn't experienced that before. So the people who are best for you can feel the least exciting, the least familiar, the least like home. Because home, for a lot of people, was complicated. This is where attachment theory becomes really useful. Now, I'm not going to turn this into a psychology lecture, but there's one idea here that I think everyone needs to understand. Researchers who study how people bond have found that the way we attach to our caregivers as children creates a kind of emotional blueprint. A blueprint for how much we trust others, how we handle closeness, how we respond to conflict, and how safe we feel being loved. And most adults fall in one of the few patterns. Securely attached people generally feel comfortable with closeness. They can ask for what they need. They don't panic when someone pulls back. They trust that love is relatively stable. Anxiously attached people tend to crave closeness but constantly fear losing it. They can feel needy, hypervigilant, easily triggered by distance. They need a lot of reassurance, and even then, it doesn't always land. Avoidantly attached people tend to value independence so highly that closeness itself starts to feel threatening. They pull away when things get too deep. They struggle to ask for help, and they often mistake emotional detachment from strength. Now, here what's important. None of these patterns make you broken. They make you human. They were adaptations, way of surviving the emotional environment you grew up in. The question isn't whether you have a pattern. The question is whether you are aware of it. I want to tell you about someone. She grew up in a home where love was conditional. When she did well, good grades, good behavior, no trouble, she felt loved. When she struggled, made mistakes, or needed something, the emotional temperature in the house dropped. So she learned very early, I am loved for what I do, not for who I am. Fast forward 15 years, she is in a relationship with a genuinely good man, patient, consistent, kind. And she told me, every time he is just nice to me for no reason, I keep waiting for the conditions. She wasn't being difficult, she wasn't trying to self sabotage. Her nervous system was simply doing what it had always done, looking for the catch, because in her experience, love always had won. So here is where I want to offer a reframe. A lot of people hear this kind of information and feel one of two things. Either they blame themselves, I'm too broken to have a healthy relationship, or they blame their past. My childhood ruined me. And I want to push back on both of those. Here's the refrain. Awareness is not the same as destiny. Understanding why you struggle to feel safe is not a life sentence. It is actually the beginning of change. Because you cannot heal a pattern you can't see. The moment you can say, this anxiety isn't really about him, this fear isn't really about her, this is an old story playing on a loop. That's the moment you get to make a different choice. Not perfectly, not all at once, but differently. So what does it actually take to feel safer in relationship? A few things. And I want to be honest, this isn't a quick fix. First, you have to notice the pattern before you react to. When you feel that sudden anxiety, that urge to pull away, pick a fight, or disappear, pause just for a moment and ask yourself, is this about right now or is this old? This question alone can create enough space to respond differently. Second, you have to let yourself be seen even when it's uncomfortable. Safety isn't built by waiting until you feel safe. It's built by taking small risks, sharing something vulnerable, asking for what you need, letting someone show up for you, and seeing what actually happens. Third, the relationship itself can be a place of healing. A lot of people think they need to be fixed before they can be in a healthy relationship. But the truth is, a safe, consistent, patient relationship is one of the most powerful environments for healing. Because every time your partner shows up after conflict, every time your vulnerability is met with care instead of criticism, every time you feel scared and it turns out okay, your nervous system is quietly updating its belief about what love can be. Before you go, I want to leave you with a few questions, not to answer out loud, just to sit with honestly. Do I feel anxious in relationships even when things are going well? Do I tend to pull away when someone gets close or cling when I feel someone pulling back? What did love feel like growing up? Was it consistent, conditional, unpredictable? In my current relationship, am I reacting to my partner or am I reacting to my past? Have I ever walked away from something healthy because it didn't feel familiar? You don't have to have answers right now, but the fact that you are asking the questions already means something. Here's what I want you to take from today. If you struggle to feel safe in relationships, even good ones, you are not broken. You are someone whose nervous system learned to protect you in the best way it knew how. And that protection served you once, but it doesn't have to run the show forever. Healing is possible, trust is learnable, and feeling safe in love, really genuinely safe, is not just for other people, it's for you too. Drop a comment and tell me, does any of this resonate? Have you ever felt anxious in a relationship that was actually good? And if this video helped you, share it with someone who might need it. Sometimes the most important thing is just knowing you are not alone in this. Next time, we are going to get into something that a lot of couples need, but almost nobody talks about directly. What does it actually look like when a relationship repairs? Not just saying sorry and moving on, real repair, the kind that actually rebuilds something between two people. That's coming next, and if your relationship needs it, you don't want to miss it. See you then.